Shin-Jong Chen. Professor Dean. Professor. Let me confirm. 我需要打电话给他们。哎，他电话接好。
我在打手机给啊，院长上线了。Professor Pen, please tell again, okay? Professor Pen. Professor Pen, please open your microphone. Professor Pen, please open your microphone.
Okay, let's welcome Professor Shin-Jong Chen.
Excuse me, because internet signal stop. Okay, can you hear my voice now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, excuse me. The some international signal quick. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm Shin-Jong Chen. On behalf of College of Medicine, Taipei Medical University, I sincerely welcome all of you to the international conference for digital dentistry and dental technology. Before we start today's speech, I want to express my gratitude to the Dr. Sen and Professor Roslin, co-organized this conference aimed at the developing dental technology. Hasanuddin University and the College of Oral Medicine, TMU, has developed a long-term friendship. Their Indonesian students come to Taiwan for sharing his knowledge. Also, the School of Dental Technology, TMU, conducted researches with Hasanuddin universities, publishing papers every year. Today, we are going to listen to 4 great speakers for both universities. I wish today's meeting a great success and everyone has a fruitful harvest and health. And also hope we have a chance to face-to-face presentation and discussion through a real symposium in the near future. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Chen, for your impressive remarks. Next, we would like to invite the Dean of Faculty of Dentistry from Hasanuddin University to deliver his oration. Please welcome Professor Muhandi Rasim.
Thank you very much for the moderator. Good morning, everyone. First, the distinguished Dean of Taipei Medical University, Professor Shin-Jong Chen. We would like to really appreciate your supporting to our faculty, our institution, Hasanuddin University, special for the Faculty of Dentistry. And also, we would like to thank you to Professor Yung Kansen, PhD. He is very good supporting, a very high effort to support Faculty of Dentistry, Hasanuddin University, and to make success this joint conference. Distinguished all college, on behalf of Faculty of Dentistry, Hasanuddin University, I would like to thank and congratulate you on the partnership conference, especially for the Taipei Medical University. Taipei Medical University, our gratitude collaboration, and it's a pleasure to welcome all the participants for the International Conference for Digital Dentistry and Dental Technology. This conference will become the agent of change, and it will be provides an independent scientific knowledge in the field of digital dentistry and dental technology. As we know, the digital revolution has changed the way we seek and solve problems around the globe, and in dentistry is no exception. Nowadays, dentistry technology converted into digital change the workflow and consequently will affect the treatment plan and procedures. There are 4 basic steps in modern digital dentistry, which are image acquisition and data preparation or processing, and production and clinical application to the patients. I strongly believe that this collaboration will bring benefit in each and every sector of digital dentistry, education, and practicing. Hasanuddin University strongly support and develop of digital dentistry, as we sure that this would be the future of medicine. Therefore, we also perform some research in this matter. This is special issue. You will find that we have compiled a number of research related to various digital themes. We hope you will find them interesting. Again, thank you very much, and good bless for all of us.
Thank you, Professor Roslin. Last but not least, we are going to welcome the chairman of the School of Dental Technology from Taipei Medical University to deliver his speech. Please welcome Professor Yongkang Shen.
Thank you, Professor Pei Wen Peng. Do you hear me, Professor Peng?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Please change my side in the big screen. Okay. 把我变成大荧幕这样。
Okay. How to?
这是怎么样弄呢？
This one?
分享吗？还是怎么样呢？
分享。
没有，我的意思，刚才都可以到大荧幕，现在请问？
像我看到您的是大荧幕。
你已经看到我在大荧幕了吗？
对。
OK， 好。Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Professor Yongkang Shen, Chairman of the School of Dental Technology, come from TMU. I will special thanks Professor Zheng Xunzong, come from the TMU, and Professor Rosalin, come from the Hasanuddin University. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2022 International Conference for Digital Dentistry and Dental Technology, ICDDDT 2022. The conference will be held online at Taipei Medical University and the Hasanuddin University. I think a dental technician is a dental support worker for dentistry. Traditional teeth were mostly covered by hand. In obstetrics, the tooth morphology is the most important parameter to evaluate its performance, but it is necessary to make a high-quality shape. Tooth fabrication is often associated with training and experience, which is time-consuming. The process of digital dental technology is affecting the dental industry, such as computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing, 3D printing and 4D printing, 5D printing, digital colorimeter and oral scans, and so on. The application in dental technology has undergone great change. The entire traditional dental technology process and the manufacturing process. The rapid development of digital dental technology has changed the technology and material used in dental fabrication and the future dental technology. We are invited to combine the artificial intelligence. Therefore, I sincerely hope you will communicate through this meeting and look forward to helping your university education and postgraduate work in the workplace. And this conference is the first meeting between Taipei Medical University and the Hasanuddin University in the field of dentistry and dental technology. It is hoped that the cooperation with the exchange between the two universities will continue to operate in the future. Regarding the behavior of the organization committee, sincerely welcome to the participation and the contribution of all participation and the friends. I would like to thank our committee members for their tremendous role in cooperating meeting and the programs. I will thanks again. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy this conference and wish you has a happy day on today. Thank you very much. See you again.
Thank you, Professor Shen. Once again, thanks to our guest speakers for giving us inspirational speeches. Also, thank you all for attending our conference. This is the end of our opening ceremony. Before we continue on the following section, let's invite everyone together to take a group photo. Please turn on your camera and show your big smile. So I will count 3, 2, 1. Cheers. One more again. 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I would like to invite our moderator for the section 1, Professor Habibi. Please, Professor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Peng, for the time and giving me opportunity. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the honorable speaker and participant for the this morning meeting. So, I think this meeting is the first meeting, and I think it can make to strengthen the collaboration between two universities, Hasanuddin University and then Taipei Medical University. Okay, can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you very much. So today we're gonna have some speaker, and then today for the first session, we will have speaker with the title Current Status and Future Development of Dental Technology in Taiwan, will be delivered by Professor Wei Fang Di. Good morning, Prof. Prof. Wei.
Good morning,
Good morning. So,
Professor Habibi.
so Prof, how can I call you? Prof. Lee or Prof?
Lee.
Oh, Prof. Lee. Okay, Prof. Lee. Good morning. So today we're gonna have actually we will have 40 minutes, but I think 30 minutes for presentation it's okay, and then continue to the discussion. So Professor Lee, are you ready for the presentation?
Yes. Thank you, Professor
Yeah, okay.
Habibi. Let me first of all thank you for your very kind introduction. And good morning, Professor Chen, Professor Lucy, Professor Shen, and distinguished guest. I'm greatly honored to give this speech at this important conference. Then I'm going to share my video. My name is Wei Fang. 可以分享荧幕吗？分享荧幕，那你要到那个，但我的档案，等一下，可是我荧幕放在我的。How to share the screen? Where's your first you opened? I already opened. Okay. So I open the Zoom first. Zoom. Yeah. Share screen. Yes, but
就是这个打点一下，开启，然后为什么东西？会是我档案有被挡吗？是需要，然后你的是在 OK，yes。不支援，完蛋！那你可以自己讲吗？我有录在那个我有录在 YouTube。所以我们
Please wait a moment because the file has some problem.
Yeah, it's never mind, Professor Lee. So we are waiting.
可以这种这里给
My name is Wei Fang Li.
是我们看到，我们这边有看到。可以怎么样？不行，再一次，这不行。然后我如果是直接分享那个呢？分享 YouTube 里面呢？How to share the
Or
YouTube?
maybe I will. Or you can send to me the
But
video.
it's too late. 哦，是可以吗 ？I can send for you.
Yeah, you can send.
Just. 我记得
Or
have
I'll
your
find
email.
this way.
Yeah. 就是多少人？为什么不行啊？好久。允许呢？然后怎么不行哦？对啊。糟糕。还是我传给你档案？从哪里？对 ，YouTube 有，我把链接给你。YouTube 链接给你。哇，糟糕。
My name is Wei.
把分享给你，对不起，对不起。用你这里。可以吗？
Where's your file?
I will send to you. ，OK， it's okay.
Yeah, it's already seen in the monitor, Professor Lee. The file that you open.
You can do吗？
There's There's a little echo.
I would like to introduce my college of oral medicine. Which was established in 2000.
I'm sorry, Professor, the sound is not clear. If you have two monitor which is running for the Zoom, so maybe you may, yeah, so you may mute one of the device.
Please wait a moment.
我重讲好了。
You have to turn off. Okay.
影片分享。
是因为你们两个的电脑靠它就互相干涉，还是这样子？
是你分享，因为我这边没办法分享。
Turn off first.
Alloys and ceramic. Dental technologists assign dentists with cosmetic or restorative work. The dental technology profession involves the design and fabrication of any dental device that will go into a patient's mouth. For example, dentures, crowns, bridges, retainers, and mouth guards. In Taiwan, the dental technicians law was passed in 2009, and it stated that dental technicians should perform dental laboratory work according to the written order of the dentist. Dental laboratory work means the fabrication, repair, or possession of crown, bridges, implants, inlays, orthodontic devices, or dentures for oral and denture treatment. In Taiwan, dental technicians need to pass the national examination before they obtain the CGT license. The examination includes for written examination, like basic dentistry, fixed denture, partial denture, orthodontics, and dental technicians laws. To practice exam, just like tooth carving and a range of the complete denture. There are 4 dental technology schools in Taiwan, but they belong to different educational systems. TTU-ST was founded in 1980, located in the middle of Taiwan. It was the first established dental technology school. The second was SDMC in 2006. With TMU and MHCHCM following in 2007. Only TMU belongs to the higher education department. TTUST belongs to the technical department, while SDMC and MHCHCN are 5 years junior colleges. Then discover the dental technology program at TMU. TMUDT was established in 2007. We are the only school of dentistry and dental technology in Taiwan, with affiliated hospitals and clinical. They provide partial clinical teaching. We also give greater importance to the research of material development and dental biomedical engineering. Educational goals include focusing on both dental technological knowledge and skills, learning from basic materials such as resins, metals, and ceramics before moving on to computer-aided design and manufacturing. Developing a comprehensive knowledge based in oral medicine and collaborating with the Department of Dentistry and the School of Oral Hygiene to provide public service. So, our main and producing professional in dental technology and nurturing RMD talent in oral medicine. Integrating oral medical related resources. including integration of school resource, establishment of industry alliance platforms, developing the national exam for dental technicians. This includes observing groups in international competitions, cultivating high-level dental technicians, focus on digital dental engineering automation, including CAD, 3D and 4D printing, and AI, cultivating R&D and an international outlook, including digital dental engineering, dental material science, and dental tissue science. TMU offers one of the top diploma programs in Taiwan, the Dental Technology Program at TMU DT. Offers a 4-year bachelor's degree. The bachelor's degree consists of 128 degrees of coursework. After successful completion of the program, students will be awarded a Bachelor of Science degree from TMU. Students in the Dental Technology program will learn the specialized skills of a dental technologist. You will learn how to design and fabricate wireless oral devices that have been prescribed to a patient by a regulated dental practitioner, often a dentist. The main aim of this course is to educate and train students to become part of the dental team for the planning, designing, and fabrication of intraoral appliances, including fixed crowns and bridges, ceramic restorations, complete dentures, removable partial dentures, denture implants, and orthodontic appliances. During the first 2 years, students will learn about basic dental-related materials and technology and fixed partial dentures. The freshman years provides foundation course essential to dentistry, just like a basic course. With the sophomore years building on these foundations, students will develop their professional skills in the 3rd and 4th years, such as fixed and partial dentures using traditional and digital technologies. Learning foster through classroom theory, demonstration, simulations, seminars, group work, and laboratory parties. In addition to the above course, there is one semester internship program in the final years of the school, where students can practice in clinical or dental laboratories. Internships requires a minimum of 320 hours, including fixed, cautious and also after graduation, students can obtain a certificate of dental technician qualifications by passing the national examinations. And some students also choose to study for a master degrees in the graduate school. I would like to share some interesting lessons with you. In the creative digital design course, young industry teachers let students to do digital inventions course to create ideas from the spectral steel case, from design, manufacture, and duplication to the final product. Here is another more shaped bonsai remark. This is a traditional dental laboratory, which includes a pasta room, a packing room, a casting room, and a polish room. Nowadays, the process focuses on digital dental production using oral and facial scanners, CAD and 3D printed to make digital dentures. We have the most complete software and equipment for 3D bioprint biomedical scaffolds. This digital dental laboratory established only last year. The new digital dental laboratory, which currently supports many digital courses. Equipment for digital dentistry. Hardware such as 3-shape, Midget, Sirona Select in Lab, Phone Lab, Faucet, and software including 3-shape, AutoCAD, Sirona, Sound, SolidWorks, and Geometric Control X. In the area of international exchange, TMU DT has sister school relations with several universities in Japan, including Tokyo Medical and Dental University, Hiroshima University, Osaka University, Osaka Dental University, and Hokkaido Dental Technical College. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, inbound and outbound students exchange were held with sister schools every year. These are a few of our sister school exchange in the past. The ultimate vision of the School of Dental Technology is to supply two final essential links in the dentistry puzzle. Laboratory was, as they are known, but we at TMU prefer to address them as dental designer or engineer. 3 major directives have now been initiated. First, innovation of traditional dental laboratory technology. Second, recognition of contemporary dental materials and instrumentations. Third, innovation of digital dentistry. Therefore, graduates from our school will be pioneers for the modern dental industry and be titled as not only dental technicians, but also oral medicine designer and engineer. The above is my introduction to the TMU DT.
Next, I want to introduce my school TMU.
Yes, please, Professor.
Okay, Okay, thank you for your listening. If you have any question, I will be happy to answer them for you. And thank you again.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Lee, for the nice presentation. It's very well, and then it opened my mind about how the dental technician in your country. It's very nice. It's very nice and very advanced. So, as a dental technician in your country, it takes 4 years, as you mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And the first 2 years, the student will learn about the basic science, and then in the last 2 years, student learn how to make, for example, a professional work, for example, making crown, and etc. It's very informative for me, Professor. Thank you very much. So for the audience, if you have a question to the Professor Lee regarding to the presentation, please do not hesitate if you have a question. You may also type in the chat room. So Professor Lee will explain if you have a question. Okay, so Professor Lee, so after graduation as a dental technician, as you mentioned, there is a national examination. Is it right? National examination for the graduates to get the certificate.
Professor,
Yeah.
could you please repeat it?
Okay. Yeah. If I'm not wrong, after graduate, there is a national examination. Yeah, national examination to get the license or to get the certified. Is it right?
Yes, we should pass the national examination for the CDT license.
Okay, I see. So the exam will make the graduates qualify for their work. Yeah, it's very nice. So as in our country, for being a dental technician, so far as I know, currently we don't have a national examination to get the license. So the certificate issued by the university, not based on national examination, but I think in Taipei it's very well. It's
In my country, we should pass for writing tasks and to write exam for the cabin and arrangement the confidential. Yeah.
Okay. So how many denture the student need to finish before they are graduate? Is there any how many items? Yeah.
They have 3 hours to complete the up and lower confidentials, just like the arrangement, the teeth, and the WhatsApp the tooth. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Lee. It's very nice. So because I think we have a limiting time, I'm sorry, but it's very nice presentation, and also I'm happy to see you, Professor Lee. Yeah. Okay. So I think because the time is up. Thank you very much, Professor Lee, and very informative presentation. Very nice. And then I return to the Professor Peng. Thank you very much. And
Okay, thank you for your excellent speech. Before proceeding on to the next section, please accept the certificate of appreciation as acknowledgement of outstanding contributions. So please wait. Okay, it's our appreciation for the Professor Lin and also for our Professor Asha. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Peng. Sincere.
Okay. Now, I would like to invite our moderator for the section 2, Professor Wei Fang Li. Please, Professor.
Hello. It's my great honor to introduce Professor Ivan, who will present his keynote speech. Professor Ivan received a doctorate degree in oral and maxillofacial radiology from Okayama University, Graduate School of Medicine, Dentistry, and Pharmaceutical Sciences, Okayama, in 2018. He is currently assistant professor in the Department of Dental Maxillofacial Radiology, Faculty of Dentistry, Hasanuddin University. In addition, he has been working as an oral radiologist in Academic Dental Hospital and Hasanuddin University, Indonesia. His research interests include radiographic imaging, artificial intelligence in dental radiographic, radiology in forensic odontology, and radiation biology. He has published papers in peer-reviewed journals such as Molecular Medicine Reports, Molecular and Clinical Oncology, and the Journal of Heart Tissue Biology. So please welcome Professor Ivan.
Thank you very much, Professor Wei-Feng Li, for your nice introduction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's the honor for me to get an opportunity to share a few things about our previous study. First, I would like to honor Professor Ruslin as the Dean of Faculty of Dentistry, Hasanuddin University, Professor Cheng as the Dean of School of Oral Medicine, Taipei Medical University, also for Prof. Yung Kan-sen as the chairman of this meeting, and all the organizing committee of the 2022 International Conference for Digital Dentistry and Dental Technology, ICDDT 2022, the collaboration between Faculty of Dentistry, Hasanuddin University, and School of Oral Medicine, Taipei Medical University, Taiwan. So today I would like to present just a few things about our previous study. I would like to share my screen. Okay, I would like to share or to discuss or to talk about one of our previous study about diagnostic value of fluid attenuated inversion recovery magnetic resonance imaging, or we call FLAIR MRI for multilocular ameloblastoma. I mean from Dentistry, Hasanuddin University. Okay. As we know, ameloblastoma is one of the most common tumors in jawbone. So based on WHO classification, there were some types of ameloblastoma, such as multilocular, unilocular, extraosseous, and metastasizing ameloblastoma. Already, we analyzed, we evaluate multilocular ameloblastoma because multilocular ameloblastoma is one of the most common tumors of ameloblastoma. And in multilocular ameloblastoma is consists of cystic portion and solid portion. So in this crop orthomopantograph radiograph, this one of okay. Can I move to another spot because my internet connection is unstable? Just a moment. Okay, sorry. I just moved to another spot to get more stable internet connection. Okay, I will continue. This is one of crop orthopantograph radiograph of multilocular amyloblastoma. We can identify the lesion here. And in MRI examination, this is one of crop MRI images that we can identify the cystic and solid portion. The identification between cystic and solid portion might be important because it might require different treatment. So this is why identification of solid and cystic portion is important to determine the multilocular amyloblastoma. Okay, in Yokohama University, or for examination, sorry for just a moment. There was a routine MRI sequences for evaluate for amyloblastoma. In T1 weighted image is a routine examination or like a basic examination in MRI. So in T1 weighted image examination show low to intermediate signal intensity. We can see here, this is one of T1 weighted images of amyloblastoma. So we can see here that the signal intensity is from low to intermediate. And for T2 weighted image or SAER is, we can see here the image. So in T2 weighted image or SAER show that mildly high signal intensity in cystic portion. So I would like to explain a short about T2 weighted image and SAER. T2 weighted image is one of MRI examination where we examine the patient is more longer than other examination. So in Yokohama University, we replace the T2 weighted image become STER or short T1 inversion recovery. So because inversion recovery will make a shortened examination for the patient, and the result of STER is identically with T2 weighted image. So in our study, we use short T1 inversion recovery or STR to replace T2 weighted image because as I mentioned before, that T2 weighted image takes longer to patient examination. And then also one of the most common examination or most the common sequences that we conduct for amyloblastoma or other lesion in oromaxillofacial region is contrast enhancement T1 weighted image. So in some study on some research reported that the result of contrast enhancement T1 weighted image will show there is an enhancement in cystic solid portion and no enhancement in cystic portion. So there is some study before. One of the study is written in European Journal of Radiology 2005 about the diagnostic value of contrast enhancement of MRI to detecting solid portion and distinguishing between cystic and solid portion. So the other study also already reported about the useful of contrast enhancement of T1 weighted image. So in contrast enhancement MRI, most of the sequence is using gadolinium base as a contrast agent. So in some study reported that there was some problem and complication or also the about the contrast enhancement MRI examination. So for example, for the patient with the kidney disease, reported that the patient with kidney disease can cause the using of gadolinium-based agent can cause the nephrogenic systemic fibrosis. Nephrogenic systemic fibrosis is one of the condition from mild to severe condition. When the patient get the gadolinium, can cause nephrogenic systemic fibrosis, and some study reported that there is the patient was died when the get or the nephrogenic systemic fibrosis happened. So this is one of the problem of the complication of the gadolinium-based agent when we conduct the contrast enhancement MRI examination. Also, some study reported that patient with asthma or allergies could induce mild to severe hypersensitivity reaction when the patient with asthma or allergies get the gadolinium-based agent when the contrast enhancement MRI was conducted. Also, the other reason or other concern about using gadolinium-based agent is economic reason. So when the patient get the contrast enhancement, so it will be produce additional cost for using contrast agent. So on the condition where the contrast enhancement MRI cannot be performed, the optional method for replace or optional to substitute the contrast enhancement MRI is necessary. So based on the condition, we evaluate the patient who has histopathologically diagnosed with multilocular amyloblastoma. So FLAIR MRI, maybe this is one of the MRI sequence that relatively new. Maybe some of us is not familiar yet about FLAIR. So FLAIR is shortened from fluid attenuated inversion recovery. So the main principle of the FLAIR MRI is when the patient went to MRI examination and then we take a T1 and then continue with inversion recovery, and then we suppress the fluid signal. So when the FLAIR MRI is the main principle is suppresses the fluid signal. So the signal of fluid becomes very low because we suppress the fluid signal. So, but in another hand, FLAIR needs additional acquisition time. However, fast inversion recovery technique shorten the acquisition time. So, in FLAIR MRI, because we produce a long acquisition time, so we can set with fast inversion recovery technique. So it becomes shortened for time acquisition for the patient. The T1, we can see here, this is the T2 weighted image. As I mentioned before, on T2 weighted image, the fluid signal is very markedly high, very high. We can see here in this image, this is the fluid signal in T2, very high. And then when we using FLAIR, we suppress the fluid signal. So the fluid area, content fluid, becomes very low. So we suppress the fluid signal. That is the main principle of FLAIR sequence. So the T1 FLAIR is increased T1 contrast by 180 degrees radio frequency pulse, and because of that, it will provide higher tissue contrast between the gray and white matter of the brain than this T1 span echo sequence. And then, however, the clinical application of T1 FLAIR has not been extensively evaluated. On previous study reported that there is a potential for FLAIR sequences as a new option for MR sequence for intracranial tumor. So there is some study reported that, however, there is has been controversy the evaluation of enhancing brain tumor with T1 flare compared with T1 T1SA. So for your information, that for brain examination, T1 weighted image is the a gold standard or a routine examination to identify the pathologic condition in the brain. So based on the previous study, it's necessary to determine the clinical value of a T1 flare image for the oral maxillofacial tumor, because based on our knowledge, there was no study yet about using the flare to examine or detecting oral tumor, and especially for this study, we focus on study about ameloblastoma, because ameloblastoma, as we know, one of the most common tumor, and we can get the study to compare with T1, STR, and contrast enhancement. The purpose of this study the purpose of this study is to compare T1 flare and routine sequences for evaluation of multilocular ameloblastoma. So routine sequence is T1, STR, and also we identify the contrast enhancement MRI, and we compare with T1 flare. And then the second is to assess the diagnostic value of rich signal nulling by T1 flare sequence for distinguishing between cystic and solid portion of multilocular ameloblastoma. In this study, we evaluated 11 patients with histopathologically diagnosed ameloblastoma, were retrospectively evaluated. All the patients underwent using 3 Tesla MRI, including T1 flare sequence. The MRI device, we use two kind of device. There's we call magnetom Skyra and magnetom Perio. So all of the patient underwent with head and neck coil. This is the MRI parameter, T1, STR, and T1 flare. So we can see here the recovery time, conversion time, thickness of the image, field of view, matrix, and pixel size. So the main concern of the parameter is we can see here that in T1 flare we use relatively long recovery time, but using short echo time, and also relatively long for infection recovery. But in some cases we conduct fast infection recovery to shorten the patient examination. And then after we collect all the data, all the patient images for all sequences, radiologists review the signal intensity of cystic and solid portion in T1 image, in STR image, in flare image, and also in contrast enhancement image. So for the review of signal intensity, we use T1 and STR as a parameter to determine the signal intensity. So the musculus in T1 is identified or determined as intermediate signal intensity. So the signal intensity between intermediate and high we call, or we describe as slightly high signal intensity. And also in STR, we use cerebrospinal fluid as a marker or a standard to determine high signal intensity. So when we find the signal intensity such as similar with cerebrospinal fluid, so we identify as mildly high mildly high signal intensity. So this is the qualitative examination for all the images, T1, STR, flare, and contrast enhancement. And then we compare signal intensity of solid and cystic portion to evaluation of multilocular amyloblastoma. So this is the qualitative, we evaluate or we examine qualitatively the image of T1, STR, flare, and contrast enhancement of our sample, the multilocular ameloblastoma lesions. Also, we analyze quantitatively. So we identify the signal noise to ratio. So we using the mean of signal intensity of region of interest of solid portion. This is the solid portion. So we determine the ROI or region of interest, and then we define with the standard deviation of background. So to get the signal to noise ratio, we compare between the ROI that we draw in solid and cystic portion, and also to compare with the signal background. And then to get the ROI, we choose the greatest area of solid and cystic portion, and then the ROI, we analyze the signal intensity of this ROI using ImageG software. This is a free software to analyze the image. And then we copy the ROI in the same image and the same slice of the other sequences. For example, this is the contrast enhancement image. And then using the same ROI, we put this ROI in the same slice on the other sequences such as T1, flare, and STR. And then we draw and analyze ROI 5 times on different days to get the reliability, because it might be different. And then to make a high inter-rater reliability, we analyze the ROI 5 times on different days, and then we compare the signal to noise ratio of solid and cystic portion. So we can see here one of the example of our subject, and we use SPSS and then using a Mann-Whitney test to get the correlation between comparison between solid and cystic portion in each sequence. This is one of our case. So we can see here in contrast enhancement, because contrast enhancement we use based on the previous study reported that contrast enhancement is the one of the best sequences to distinguish between solid and cystic portion. So contrast enhancement is our standard to evaluate, and we compare later one by one of the sequences. So we can see here there is a similar result of flare and contrast enhancement, like a shape and also the signal intensity. Here in SCER, we can see here that in cystic portion shows a mildly high signal intensity, but in other hand, some part of a solid portion is masked by the high signal intensity of cystic portion. And the other hand, in T1 is a routine examination for MRI examination. We can see here we cannot distinguish between cystic and solid portion. And here we can see on flare MRI, we can see the shape of the lesion is identically with contrast enhancement, and also we can see the difference between cystic portion and solid portion. This is the other lesion or another sample. We can see here in contrast enhancement, we can see the solid portion, and this is the cystic portion. On T1 weighted image, we cannot distinguishing between cystic and solid portion. Also in STR, the signal intensity of cystic area, the fluid is very high, is mildly high, so must the solid portion. And here we can see in flare, we can see the shape of the lesion is identically with contrast enhancement. This 4 of this image is the same slice but different sequence. And we can see here also that there is we can distinguish between cystic and solid portion. And then we identify one by one our sample of the cases. So if we compare the contrast enhancement and flare, we can most of cases is show same result, the homogeneous intermediate. Even to compare with cystic and solid portion is slightly difficult to distinguish between T1 and STER. This is the cystic portion. This is cystic portion comparison between T1 and STER and flare. So in this image, in this table, we can see that most of cystic portion of flare is same or similar with contrast enhancement of MRI. So this is the image or about our statistic analysis that we can see here in the stars means that there is a significantly difference between the comparison between cystic and solid portion. So we can see here that contrast enhancement flare is same with contrast enhancement T1, but in other hand, STR and T1 not provide significantly different between cystic and solid portion. So as the discussion that T1 image, we can evaluate that the cystic and solid portion have similar appearance. So also in statistic evaluation or analysis, there is no statistical significant difference between cystic and solid portion. On STR, because the show very high, mildly high signal intensity on cystic portion, it can be can mask the solid area, and also there is no statistical significant difference between cystic and solid portion on STR image. And on contrast enhancement MRI, so SNR of solid and cystic portion is solid portion is higher than cystic portion. For MRI examination, it might be a gold standard. Maybe gold standard for MRI examination for distinguish between cystic and solid portion. And for the patient who has a contraindication of contrast enhancement MRI imaging, flare could be one alternative to replace or to the optional for the patient who has a contraindication for contrast enhancement MRI imaging, because on our finding that contrast flare is most stronger to identify and distinguish between solid and kystic portion, and also SNR of solid portion is higher than cystic portion, even not as high as on the contrast enhancement, but we can see in a previous slide that the shape and also we can still distinguish between kystic on solid portion, and the main concern is flare sequence is without contrast agent. So based on our study, so we conclude that the T1 flare image could distinguish kystic and solid portion in multilocular ameloblastomas. Second is T1 flare demonstrated superior kystic to solid portion contrast compared with T1 and SER. And the last is T1 flare is proposed as an alternative sequence for those contrast enhancement MRI cannot be performed. Thank you for your opportunity. This is my last presentation. Then I return to moderator.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Ivan, for your excellent presentation. Now, the floor is open to discussion. We welcome your questions and comments. Any question for or comment for Professor Ivan? So, thank you again, Professor Ivan.
Thank you, Professor Wei, for your to moderate for this discussion and this presentation, this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for Professor Ivan's excellent speech. So please accept our, please wait a moment. Please accept our appreciate for your outstanding speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your certificate.
Now, I would like to, now we will close the section. Let's take about the 12-minute break. The next section will begin at 10:40. 感觉上没有声音诶，你那边有声音吗？嗯，好，拜拜。
of project-based learning in
The event will start in 2 minutes. Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, Professor. Could you please turn off the music? The session will start. Professor, please. Professor Unhas.
Prof. Frank, I think the hosts come from our side. It's from
Yes.
Hasanuddin University's side.
So could you turn off the music?
Yeah.
We will proceed the section.
Allow me to notify them to bring down the music.
Yes.
Team IT. Team IT. Team IT. Team IT. Hello.
If possible, to turn off the video music. Now
I'm
I
sorry.
will start our
Yeah, Team IT. FKG Unhas, Team IT. Sorry. I'll try to contact them.
Okay, thank you. So, did you, Professor?
Sorry, we still try to find who's holding the host Zoom for this meeting.
So is Annie Marina, Professor Erin Marina?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Not easy to handle.
Start.
Yeah. Sorry, Prof. Frank. It seems like the audio come from our host. Okay, it stopped
Okay,
now.
it's okay. So I will start the sections. Now I would like to introduce our following moderator, Professor Marina Tanumihadra. Please, Professor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Peng, for your introduction. So next session is application of project-based learning in dental technology. Professor Fan Yu Fan is our outstanding speaker in this session. Unfortunately, she got sick, so the presentation will be delivered by video. Before starting her presentation, let me introduce Prof. Fan Yu Fan. Prof. Fan Yu Fan holds a master's degree with a major in oral sciences by Chung San Medical University in Taiwan. Besides her major, she has also taken PhD course related to mechanical engineering like hybrid materials, mechanical analysis, and biocompatibility evaluation, which have prepared her for dental technology in the field of education and research. She is now employed at Taipei Medical University's dental technology, where she assisted the department program in teaching and research. Her research topics are including 3D print digital dentistry and bioceramic material, which have been published as 15 academic works and 6 commission programs in the past 3 years. In this course, she will share her own experience with project-based learning method in dental technology, teaching, and research. Integrating the school and enterprise energy will improve the effect of talent cultivation. So for the time, please. The committee, please. Again, Prof. Fang Yu Fan's presentation will be delivered through video because she got sick.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rita Zhang. I will help Professor Fan to open his PPT file.
Okay, thank you. So, screen is yours.
Okay, wait a minute. Hello, everyone. I'm Fang Yu Fan. I'm honored to participate in this seminar. My topic is application of project-based learning in dental technologies program. In this talk, hello everyone, I'm Fang Yu Fan. I'm honored to participate in this seminar. My topic is application of project-based learning in dental technologies program. In this talk, I will introduce some of my experience in curricular design of industry resource, incorporation, and academic research. My teaching year is 9 years. My teaching plan is innominate teacher strategy. First, we will know the industry demand to do the talent education plan. Then, we will keep discussion with the industry expert to make the resource integration. Before the class, we will do the simulation exercise to adjustment the programs. Finally, we will receive the teaching feedback to know the learning affected. In part 1, I will introduce industry resource to university schools. The type of talent demand including best technologies, elite professional, and high-level talent cultivation. And both sides of industry and academics can carry out different cultivation modes according to different types of talent demand. The best technologies is unlimited company size. It needs show incubation periods about 2 to 9 months. Enterprise invest less resources. So this type is suitable for first-time investment in cultivation. An elite professional type. The enterprise have a large number of single job type. It will to invest in talent cultivation for a long time. More resource and suitable for medium and large enterprise, and high-level type. There are research and development related needs. So this type is suitable for cooperation with school projects. And colleges and grad students belong to the elite professional and the high-level talents. So teachers can choose the enterprise according to their own attendance to carry out industry's academic cooperation plan immerse teaching. The industry academic cooperation modes including student, teacher, R&D, equipment, space, and service. The student focus on talent training through programs such as internship, production, and master class. The teacher carry out practical exchange through the exchange of industry teacher and studying institute. The R&D including patent technology transfer, project commission, research, and joint development R&D. Equipment, including equipment sharing between school and enterprise. Joint development or investment between industry and academic. Space, provide classroom, conference, and internship events to each other. Service, the industry university cooperation for seminar, event, competition, and provide inspection report. The mode of the industry academic cooperation adopted by universities can be considered to several aspects. Teachers can interact and add values through the above mountains industry academic standard. The problem-based learning, PBL, refers to a problem or situation that induces students to think and establish learning goals. Students should have the skill and attitudes of teamwork, self-direct learning, and the use of teaching resource, recording, and cooperation. The role of the teacher is to guide the discussion and encourage students to review whether they fully understand and express what they have learned to each other. I would like to share with you my current experience in putting industry resource into the application of university courses. The Department of Dental Technologies offers courses for bachelor degree and master degree. Among the curricular development objectives, the first year should take general and major courses as the foundation. The second and third year should primarily focus on major courses. Well, the fourth year of the student is taught professional advancement and clinical practice. My courses are primarily the major courses in the second and the fourth year. For second year students, they are usually new to major courses, where they have heard about many of the technical words in the directory course, but have never practiced. On the contrary, the fourth year students are already equipped with the basic adaptation for professional competence. Therefore, the teaching model for students from these two different backgrounds will be adjusted and decided according to the background needs of each grade level. In terms of the type of course, the major course I teach to second year students are practical courses, including dental material, face prosthodontic technologies, and dental ceramic technologies. And the 4-year students, I teach theoretical course is as for dental technician. In this different type of course, I have experiment in trying to introduce the relevant industry change. Before attempting to incorporate industry resource into the curriculum, I will first consider the following issue. For example, the background and number of attending students. If the course targets low-grade students, it is more appropriate to arrange the industry lecture after the midterm examination, and they cannot too difficult to understand. It should be implemented after building a close consensus with the students at the beginning of the semester. If curriculum directs senior students on the premise of having a certain professional academic foundation, the teacher can direct put in the lectures, which help students quickly absorb and link industry. Furthermore, the number of the students is also a major challenge in curricular planning, especially for practical course. Secondly, in terms of the course type and objective, the introduction of the industry theoretical course is radically simple. When inviting industry lecturers to teach the course, the linked lecturer can link up the course objectives by acting as an introductory role on the spot. In addition to implant knowledge, the later lecturers can also make suggestions to increase the applications for interaction and discussion, so as to enhance students' improving and focus on learning. In terms of practical part of the course, if domestic and practical exercise and needs, industry resource. For example, manpower, equipment is need to be added to the planning consideration. In terms of the desired course outcome, the lead lecturer can use a small game or ask questions to random students to check the quantify of the outcome. The above, based on the first three considers, will be used to plan the exact curriculum approach. Certainly, the pre-implementation rehearsal and adjustment and necessary. Good teaching results can only be achieved through careful assessment of the overall performance from the perspective of student, industry, and nature. In terms of practical course, I have tried to follow to include industry resource, which including the participatory of industry expert and scholar in the competition teaching, the input of digital equipment, hardware and software resource, and so on. In a part of the expert and scholar participatory, because the application parts contain personal application skill, it is easier to cause confusion to the learner. So, it is suggested the lecturers and participatories should have some consensus before the start of the course. Secondly, the number of learners and the flow of the process are very important when the industry hardware and software are included in the course. Well, the present needs to systematically establish the consent and be familiar with application guidelines, avoiding intense waiting time for the application in order to receive quick learning results. According to my experience of the coding experiment source, it's better to have a 3:1 or 5:1 ratio of students to the hardware and software equipment. Furthermore, similar hardware may be available for different courses in school, which will increase the learning breadth of students. So lastly, the arrange of the all curricular design and can be carried out by way of translation, such as guideline review and summary, which is help to enhance students' learning in the mentor. In terms of theoretical course, remote learning have broken through the limitations of distance, with experts and scholars can teach their experience online similarly. Inviting guest lecturers from the industry to share in a similarly discussion formats is a great way to include the industry chain into the curriculum. To promote communication, it can be suggested to increase the opportunity to interaction between the lecturer and the student, so as to avoid the situation of out of focus attention. Adding industry to the project-based learning model has been an interesting experience. This course is designed to promote the students to study the past and future exploration by means of industry-related topics, depth, and data collection, data arrangement, and project report. The lecturer can design a certain range of direction of provide a reference in terms of then development. In this course, I try to guide the topic to the bridge between the academic field and the industry, and throughout the topic to guide the students to think, like what are the impacts on the dental technologies industry? What change has this stock bring to the industry pattern? What skill should I possess to enter the industry after graduation? What change can I bring to the industry? In addition, students should be given the space to collect data. During the process, the lecturer should know the students' movement and progress, and remind them to draw up the content and analyze the methods preliminary when they use the questionnaire or the interview mode to collect data. And the open-end questionnaire should assume the direction of responsible answer to avoid out of focus or discretion. Project-based learning emphasizes the result of team learning. According to the experience, the ideal number of the students in a group is 5 to 6, and the math needs to be used to increase the interaction between students. After the students have collected the information through the above mountain guideline, lecture need to be discussed to contact with the students in groups to remind them to focus on the topic and integrate it effectively, which is an important part of the learning program. Finally, the class will introduce the production report of the industry through the PBL teaching model. The student will share in class as the mild presentation mode. The team application results of each group will be reflected in the presentation of the report. Apart from listening in class, the lecturer can give general comment and suggestion of the overall situation of each group when focused on them. The experience of this industry in curricular design, in fact, allows students to understand more of different thinking directions. Like students maybe think the boss will know how to lead a team, freedom, strong technology, lean, no extra workload, put people in the right space. But in the industry, they will thinking the students maybe have environments different, too confident, or familiar enough, not familiar enough. That shows the students and industry different thinking. After identifying these problems, students should come up with solutions for implement, including adjustment to the school curriculum and early internships for independent learning. So, the project-based learning model of teaching will lend teachers to wonder students can really solve the problem of industry in the curriculum design according the cross-application experience. It is difficult to grasp the particularity of universities' curricular design Due to the large numbers of learners, large number of students, but students can be guided to discover the potential cause and try to solve the problems early. Therefore, if the PBL design learning model is applied to the graduate student, it can be done by designing more difficult problems or projects, and its effectiveness will certainly be close to the industry's practice. The introduction of project-based learning into the teaching curricula will increase the blending of lectures from the original role of only provide knowledge transfer to playing a leader role in group learning. Therefore, lecture must learning PBL-related skill to help manage team learning and discussion. In terms of additional industry resource to the academic research, I have shared a total of 2 projects in this talk, which have using the industry as a start point for teaching bench and master students respectively. This project is for bench students. We want to know the effect of iron relies on color stability. So this research is to determine the color performance between thickness and soaking time. And the project is for the bench students. We will want to know the effect of iron rising on color stability. So this project is want to determine the color performance between thickness and soaking time. The sample is from UPCI and Dental Direct Company. We will want to compare the coding accuracies of the international and after 3-month use. To the material and methods, students use the 1906 zirconia samples and from the KCAM produced, and we use the different coding liquids. A is UPCRA, B is Dental Direct. The coding liquid is A2, and soaking time is different to after the heat treat, and we will to compare the coding change. So we will recording the coding information about LAB system. You can see we will recording the initial states, the UPCRS LAB, Dental Direct LAB, and we also recording the coding value after 3-month use, the UPCRS LAB and the Dental Direct LAB. So we compare the L values between 2 labels. We will see after 3 months, the UPCI and Dental Direct samples, the L value is brand. So we will record the different time, the color of the at different time. And another project is to the master students. The project is effect of different deformation tempers of 3D printing bridge resorption. We will calculate the deformation of a loss after a different heat treat and compare the deformation and locations of 3 and 5 bridge restoration. So the materials and methods we will want to know the bridge from the design and to 3D printing, and after different heat treat and to close the deformation. So we use the material analysis and like SRT, SEM, narrow indenters, and tool recording. So this is different temperatures as SRTs analyze, and the SEM image. So we will use the narrow indenters to record the harness. And we use the 3 units bridge to compare the deformations after different temperature. The 5-unit bridge. So the industry resource in the course and research will help students learn more knowledge that is close into clinical reality. The PBL teaching model for students according to the background needs for each grade level. The PBL into the teaching curriculum will include the bundling of lectures. From the original role of only provide knowledge trends to playing a leading role in group learning. The above is the sharing of my experience in incorporation industry resource into dental technologies, curricular design and research. And have any question, maybe you can email to me. I will respond to you quickly, and thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Pham, for your outstanding presentation. And again, just to confirm that all the questions will be emailed by committee to the Prof. Pham. So this is how the era of digitization and artificial intelligence have also given impact in the practice of dentistry nowadays, either in dental technology or in learning process. This is very interesting because how the practice of dentistry and learning process is connected to the industry through practical topics. Thank you. And I will return this screen to the committee.
Thank you, Professor. We share your appreciation for you. So please wait a moment.
Actually, I have lots of questions. It's very interesting topics, but Prof. Pham is sick, so I will email the questions.
who obtained a DDS degree in dentistry in 2000 and master degree in 2002 from Hasanuddin University. And congratulations, she finished her PhD degree from University College London in 2022. Now she come back to her school to be an association professor and engage in the practice of clinical experience teaching as an oral medicine specialist. Professor Annie has worked on dental biomaterial, immunology research, and oral medicine and pathologic study. She will share her experience in biomaritime material for dental applications. Now, please join me in welcoming the Professor Annie Molina. Professor.
Thank you so much, Prof. Frank, for a very nice introduction of me. Yeah, allow me to share my screen. Ladies and gentlemen, please. It is an honor for me to speak before you all for this first meeting joined with TMU Medical University. May I begin, Prof. Frank? Yeah. So today I would like to a little bit explain about what we perform on our research on biomarine material for dental applications. And again, allow me to a little bit introduce to you the reason of our focus in this biomaterial, biomarine material. As you might aware, the Taipei Medical University and Hasanuddin University is actually only 15 hours flight away. We've been separated by a huge ocean between us. And as you may also see that our country, Indonesia, is probably the biggest island country in the world with 5 big islands, where the Kalimantan, we share this island with our neighboring country, Malaysia, and Papua, we share this island with Papua New Guinea. And this is where our university located in the K-like island in the middle of Indonesian archipelago. Distinguished audience, as you may know, our history demonstrated that our rich natural resources from our island, recording our history with more than 300 years of colonization from the Europe country. However, the island raw material resources, not only the one that we have, we also have the richness from the sea and marine area surrounded our archipelago. And these multitude resources are vital for our life on our country. We have a lot of diverse applications that probably and potentially implemented in dentistry. It is all the background why then our university focus our research on biomarine topics. So this is a little bit picture of our green and peaceful university. So as an institution, our university then decree itself to be the center of excellence in human development, science, arts, and culture based in Indonesian maritime continent. Surely this degree that we call as our university strategic plan, then adapted in our dentistry faculty, where we try to do our research based on the marine based in health and dentistry. This is also the reason why almost researchers in our department, in our faculty of dentistry, at least in one pathway of the research, will try to utilize marine-derived material for oral health improvement. Okay, one of the undercultivated resources that we so far been researched is marine algae. The marine algae actually in Indonesia can be found in form of red, brown, and green algae. As you may see in here, Sargassum species is actually one of the species origin from the class of brown algae. These species can be found in abundant volume and number in our K-like island of South Sulawesi. And it is unfortunate because this Sargassum species, although it's rich with the fucose-rich polysaccharida from its fibrillar wall of the cell wall, as well as in the intercellular species of this plant, this species actually considered as a weed. So it is have no economical value for our farmer because they haven't been identified or recognized or uses for medical or even cosmetical or food purposes. It is why if you can see that this brown algae, the Sargassum species, actually very rich in a lot of mineral deposits such as the carbohydrate, where it contains fucoidan, cellulose, and alginate, and also some materials and pigmented like chlorophylls, carotenoid, and picobiliproteins. It is very rich, and the potential to use as the therapeutic natural bioactive compounds is highly possible for this brown algae. So as always, for a good research cleaning, whenever we extract one natural resources from our either marine or island area, we will try to, before the biomedical application, we will do the extraction of the substrate with targeting, do the characterization morphologically, or as far as I can, the biomolecular characterization, and then processing the material before we do the chemical modification. This is one example of substrate fucoidan, where we compare the average level of concentration from 3 different species: Padina species, Turbinia species, Sargassum species, all of which actually origin from the brown algae class. As you can see, with the OD 0.3, we actually can get a very high concentration of fucoidan, which is 450 ppm. So far, research in our faculty regarding the potential algae utilization for dental application, we've been through the antimicroorganism research, dental material by using the irreversible hydrochloride for dentistry cards. We're using hydrogel forming algae from the brown algae. We also researching the hemostatic component and effect of the brown algae, immune modulator, antioxidant, and antimicroorganism. For today, I would like to show you 2 recent research that we've been performed for this brown algae specifically. For the wound healing effect, as an example of the very important component is fucoidan with a chemical structure, as you can see here. It is actually considered a simple structure of biochemical because it only consists of repeat unit disaccharide. Although fucoidan so far have been reported by some publication to have signaling pathway effect to the transduction of intracellular signaling. As you may see, that the fucoidan can actually affecting the bone morphogenetic receptor, the tumor genetic factor receptor, epidermoid growth factor receptor, and toll-like receptor, with the end result of this signaling subsequent is tumorogenesis, migration, and cell survival, as well as the apoptosis. All of these important in the cell, in the cancerogenesis inhibition. The other pathway for the importance of fucoidan in the signal transduction of the cellular biomolecular is the potential of this substrate to inhibit the nuclear receptor factor 2 and hemooxygenase 1 with the end result of reduction or inhibition cytokines, which is dependent of an FKB and apoptosis 1 nucleus transduction. As you may see that some important pathway of this fucoidan activation is by inhibiting the oxidative stress. So, as the part of the identification and characterization of the extract fucoidan from Sargassum species, we morphologically characterize with the form of the extract Sargassum that we got is actually the form in powder with the brown color, and the aroma surely it's a little bit fishy sense. Unfortunately, surely we need chemical modification to reduce this disadvantage of the scent that we extracted from the Sargassum species. We then validated the subset that whether it is the true subset that we wanted to extract. As you may see, the peak in this web number length is actually identical with the fucoidan, the library fucoidan that we have, as well as the one with aloe vera. We're validating it with the FTIR methodology, and we have the same and identical peak that resemble with the aloe vera component. So in terms of bone healing, we use the osteoblast stimulation as the parameter. As you may know that these osteoblasts actually have main function to synthesize and secrete bone matrix to maintain the structural integrity and shape of the bone, and with the end result of promotes formation, remodeling, and the healing of bone defect. We then perform the research flow using an animal model divided in control, fucoidan treatment group, and the fucoidan and aloe vera group, with the research flow like material implant and sacrifice the animal after 14 and 21 days before we doing the histologic examination. Surely all these research have been approved ethically by our ethical commission in our university. The results, before we doing any treatment, we did histologic examination with the animal model. We can see some osteoblasts, although it's very low osteoblast expression in the modeling in the rat model. In control group, we can see that in 14 days, we begin to see clearly, more clearly, the osteoblast expression. While in the extract gel fucoidan treatment group, we can see the osteoblasts become more and more clearer between 14 and 21 days. And then in the extract gel fucoidan versus aloe vera, 50%, we can, the highest expression of the osteoblasts can be seen in both histological picture in here. Graphically, our research demonstrated the osteoblast stimulation after treatment with the fucoidan and fucoidan aloe vera surely have a significant statistical significance, which is mean clinically the osteoblast can be stimulated better compared to nothing or saline only. And it is also important to note that between group fucoidan and fucoidan aloe vera, we can't find any significant difference. It is mean, although we can see graphically the osteoblasts expression in the group of fucoidan and aloe vera is higher compared to fucoidan only, but it is not statistically significant. And then that's the most recent research in wound healing using the algae as the sources for our fucoidan substrate. And then our still ongoing research, which recently created, is the anti-cancer potential of brown algae to use as a nitric oxide donor. So another bioactive component that we can find in the brown algae is the one that we call as fluorotannin. Fluorotannin have the capability to absorb, either to absorb or to donor and nitric oxide to other molecule. So we have this potential, and we will like to isolate more and to find match for our nitric oxide donor for our next research, which is novel tumor binding nitric oxide releasing nanoparticles, which is a promising technology for development of high efficacy treatment for SGG. So the basic reason of this ongoing research is we know that the nitric oxide is a free radical molecule that we can synthesize from the amino acid L-arginine by 3 distinct forms. And it is now identified as an emerging new anti-cancer agent. We know that the basic theory of nitric oxide in cancer is by causing cytostatic or cytotoxic effect and tumor cell by suppressing cellular respiration and shifting iron metabolism. And this NO also can silencing DNA synthesis, and also NO can acting as pro-apoptotic modulator by activating caspase family protease. And then with the end result of upregulation of protein 53, which is important in cancerogenesis. And the important why we need nitric oxide donor to match with our proposed theoretical drug for cancer is because we need the polylactic glucolide and S-nitrosoglucolatine, which is a free nitric oxide that can help us to actually release the nanoparticles that which is specifically target the microenvironment in the microenvironment of the cancer situation. As you may see in here, we hopefully that using the GSNO origin from nitric oxide donor for fluorotannin, we can have our drug identify and can adapt it with the pH trigger charge reversal, where the drug can be released slowly to the area and targeting directly to the damaged cell. So it is very specific target for our drug. In this schematic diagram, you can see that basic release of our NO level is actually identification or adaptation from the pH trigger charge reversal of acidic tumor microenvironment. It's still a long research. However, we expecting we can achieve the new exogenous donor This is the first step of our research, and then we hopefully can get the pH responsive nitric oxide releasing some drug delivery system which can help us to release the drug in the right environment. And then we also have no toxicity effect toward the normal cells, and then our drug construction can effectively treat OSGG in mice model. And then in the end, we have that our novel tumor binding and or releasing nanoparticle can actually have high efficiency treatment for OSGG. As I'm saying, this research is still in the basic form where we try to find the NO donor for our drug. And we know that the potential donor that we can potentially match is the fucoidan from fluorotonin from the brown algae. This is all that I can share with you for our research in biomarine. I hopefully we can discuss, and we do really thanks if you have any suggestion or if you have any probably joint research that we can share with our either before or ongoing research at this moment. Thank you so much. I hand it over to you, Prof. Feng.
Okay, thank you for your interesting topics. So now we are going to have Q&A section, and we open the floor to the audience. Please feel free to ask questions for share any thoughts with our speakers. I think it's very interesting because we also try to use the Cora to be as the alternative as the bone graft. So I'm so interested about your research. As you mentioned, like you use the brown seaweed to explore your experiment. Why you only use the brown seaweed?
Oh, okay. Actually, it's not limited to the brown algae. However, since as I mentioned at the first, the brown algae is actually considered as a weed in our island. So we try to improve the economical value for our farmer, as well as helping us in dentistry to improve our material. Okay. But I believe a lot of our college also using the red algae, which is already known as the commercial sources for cosmetic and food. But for brown algae in our specific island, still considered as a weed, which has no economical value. So we're trying to improve the economical value of this algae for our community around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. One more question. I'm
yes, please.
Curious about the drug delivery.
Yeah.
How to combination of the about the brown seaweed into the nanoparticle?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, it is still one theoretical, and we're still ongoing to trace whether the fluorotonin, which we know can actually either give or take oxide from the environment, whether this is a match donor for us to use in our drug delivery system. So we really hope that we can actually creating a junction between this fluorotonin potential as a donor for our drug delivery system.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Yeah, otherwise, if our experiment is not going well, we have to use the synthetic donor for our drug.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
So
you.
if there are any questions for Professor, you can, if you are shy, you can type in the chat box. Or, okay, if there's no questions, now I would stop these sections. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you so much.
Also, we will please accept our appreciation. So please wait a moment. Okay, this is our certification of appreciation. And also we will send you the hard copy after meeting.
Okay, brilliant, Prof. Peng. It's an honor for me to get this certificate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So it's the session is all the end, but it's please wait a moment. We need to content all our speaker for the next course opening. Please wait a moment. It's time. It's time. It's the time we're coming to the cross ceremony. Now, I would like to invite the Vice Dean of College of Oral Medicine from Taipei Medical University to deliver our closing remarks. Please welcome Professor Lin Shen Chen. Professor. Professor Chen.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So.
Okay. Dear distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to appreciate all of you, particularly for the organization committee, the dean and the Professor Sun, who organized this wonderful conference. I think today's Taipei Medical University and Hasanuddin University, all of the participants and speakers had done very well. I enjoyed today's talks very much. Although I was still under the COVID-19 pandemic, but I think in the very near future, I think we will have the face-to-face in-person meeting in Taipei or in Hasanuddin University. We hope we can see each other very soon. And of course, I think we have a very long friendship between our two universities, and I hope our collaboration will continue, and we will do more the collaboration in the future. Thank you very much for your participation and very successful meeting. I hope everyone enjoyed today's conference. Thank you very much. Please stay healthy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor Chen. Next, I would like to invite the Vice Dean in Academic Research and Innovation Affairs from Hasanuddin University to deliver his orientation. Please welcome Professor A.D. Mahmood.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would like to say thank you for the cooperation that has been established between Taiwan Medical University and the Hasanuddin University. Hopefully, this collaboration will continue and be beneficial for both parties. Thank you to Professor Pei Wen Peng, PhD, as a Vice Dean, and all presenters and all participants. We hope that in the future we can meet offline. Sorry if there are some shortcomings in this meeting. Thank you again and see you soon. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Professor. We have come to the end of today's forum. Thank you for your participation. Have a wonderful afternoon. See you next year. Bye-bye.
See you next year. Bye-bye.
See you,
Thank you,
Prof.
Professor
Thank you so
Rosaling.
much.
Thank you.
See you next
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Please
Yeah.
join to
Thank
the
you.
next conference in
See
next
you again
year.
in the next